I Dysoned my hair for the first time in like 2 months. I put on just enough makeup to make me look like I'm not a recovering corpse. And it's incredible what the magic of cinema can do for you. Godspeed. Hello there, what's up? My name is Rosie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to today's September reset. The fact that it's September, that sounded scary a month ago, but now I'm like, thank God. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ. I will lovingly refer to this video as a reset from the worst summer of my life. And I will explain to you why such a thing is appropriate. But I'm so happy to be making this video because September starts tomorrow. August will finally be over. The month from literal hell. And I can maybe start to get my sanity back again, and that sounds so lovely. Also, just a heads up, a part of this is I'm recovering, still like in the midst of an ear infection. So I can't hear out of this ear. So if like the sound is wonky and I'm yelling and I have to adjust it in post, that's what's up there. Sorry. Hopefully it won't be. I feel like I've given that disclaimer on a few of my work calls this week and they've been like, oh no, but nobody's told me to shut up yet. So I think we should be good. If you're new here, hey, what's up? I'm about to get into the most traumatic summer of my life. So if you want to stick around and hang out, you're going to get to know me very, very well, very quickly. But I make, you know, monthly, daily, weekly lifestyle content. I'm a 25-year-old girly pop who is from New York, living in Denver, Colorado. I love plus fives. I love not saying words correctly, that's for sure. I love plus size fashion. I love theater. I love books. As you can tell, I love media consumption and literary analysis. And I love being a huge bitch. No, not about that last part. But I do, you know, just like sharing what my daily life looks like. Because I like seeing other people's daily lives look like and seeing, you know, what the hell people are up to out there on this crazy big world. So if you want to stick around after you get to know me and my issues intimately well, please subscribe. I would love to have you. And as of right now, I'm like 4 subscribers away from 400 subscribers, and that's pretty dope. So enough with the intro because clearly there's a lot going on. And let's hop into the recap first. I'm gonna make this like just broadly a full summer recap because the majority of the stuff happens in August, but you know, it's kind of like a domino effect, like slowly leading up to the craziness that has positioned us where we are. The last week of April is when all of this began to go downhill. I had just put in my 2 weeks at work. I had just gotten a new job offer for the job I'm at now, which is great. And then I found out that my nanny died, who is my cousin's grandmother, but we all grew up, we're a big Italian Irish family. So she was kind of like an extra grandma to me. So that was very sad. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go home. Gotta hit New York for that funeral. I was very upset. It was very sad, just all around. And then literally like, I'm gonna say like the day before, the day after, it was somewhere within that weekend, I found out that the government rescinded my student loan because a class got canceled on me in grad school and I couldn't sign up for any of the other ones because the rest of them were on campus or thesis instruction. And it was my second quarter. So I was not eligible for either of those things. They took away my money and left me with a $2,500 charge that I had to figure out by myself, which I could not pay. And I waited too long to withdraw from the class because they didn't tell me about the student loan not going through until after the last, it was like the week of the last drop date, they told me. And then Nanny died. And then I just obviously wasn't fucking thinking about it because I had a dead grandma, but whatever. So that happened, shit start to the summer. And then it was the first week of May, that's my birthday, came back, you know, May, just sort of catching up. June, crazy. I started my new job mid-May. And so mid-May into June was just nuts, trying to get to learn a new job. I went on my first business trip, great, lovely. I saw my besties, Agatha and Marissa. And then from there, we get a little whack. While I was down in Austin, Texas, my grandfather moved out to Colorado to be taken care of out here against the advisement of most of his doctors and by a family member and that family member was causing a lot of problems. And essentially he moved out here and he never recovered. So July comes around, I have, you know, I'm trying to get used to work. My grandpa's not doing too great, but we're just sort of seeing where it goes. I go on vacation with my bestie Mackenzie, which was quite truly the only highlight of the past 2 months. And that was wonderful. Love her, love to see her. She's my bestie for the restie, even if we're very far apart at all times. But that was the last good week I had. That was July, like, what, 16th through 23rd? Approximately there. And then I get back and I get COVID. And then my grandpa goes into hospice on the same day I find out I have COVID. And then I find out that my dog, Marley, my family dog back home, has cancer that has spread, and we're not sure how far. On the same day that I found out my grandpa's going to hospice, and then I had COVID. So like, that was really fun, really logged off of work at 2 p.m., drank a whole bottle of wine by myself. And then I was like, okay, sick, cool. I still have COVID. I can't do anything about this. I was supposed to go on another business trip that I couldn't go on because I had COVID. But because of that, I was able to drive down the next weekend after I had tested negative and was able to mask up and see grandpa and everything. And I'm very grateful because I got to see him during his last good weekend, and then he passed away. So I then go to New York for the funeral and all of the services and stuff. And there's just a lot of family drama behind it all. It's like, it's just too much to get into online. But it's messy, and the person who is taking care of my grandpa out here is the cause of it all. So there's a big rift in that side of the family. So things are wacky on that end, and it just made it very hard to process anything that was going on, like grief-wise, because thinking about it, it was like, I'm so sad about this, but also I'm so angry about everything else surrounding it that like, I either was gonna think about it for hours and sob, or I couldn't think about it at all. And quite frequently I chose not thinking about it at all. And so thankfully my therapist has worked in a few extra appointments for me over the past month. And we're working through it, we're getting there, we're doing much better. But I go to New York for the funeral. It is the busiest week of work at my job that I'm missing. And so I'm just expecting to come back and get hit with it, get just like absolutely smothered in things I don't know how to do. So I return home. And the funny thing is, as soon as I get off that plane, my ear doesn't pop. It had been hurting a bit. I got hit with a wave earlier the week in New York on my singular beach day of the year. The only time I've been to the beach in the past 2 goddamn years to like actually go to the beach. I get hit with a wave that clogs my ear. And that has turned into an ear infection, and that's where we are now. So I couldn't take any more fucking days work. I couldn't take any more days off of work because already, as you can see, it's been quite the eventful summer. So I've been working through the week with a horrendous ear infection that occasionally needs me to just literally lay down, otherwise, and like I can't move. Because moving my jaw, Monday was horrible because I was in a bunch of meetings and talking to people, and it was like one of the worst days. I didn't have antibiotics yet, and it just ended up being so swollen that I couldn't talk on my left side. I haven't slept in like 3 days. And yeah, today is okay. Last night was horrible, but today I'm feeling the most, I guess, like myself that I have in a hot second. And so I was like, you know what, take advantage of this, because there's so many videos I want to film. So while I'm feeling well enough to do so, I will do it so that way I can edit while I'm still recovering and not feeling so great. And that's where we are. So everything COVID onward happened this month. It has not been a good month. It has not. We're gonna move past that. We're gonna talk about the good, fun things that happened, because that's what I need to remember in all of this, is that the good things are happening, and it's okay, because good things will continue to happen, and it will be fine in the end. I got to spend an unexpected week with my family at home in New York, which was great. I got to see Marley, which I was nervous about because we don't know what state he's in and like how long he's gonna be with us. So I'm glad I got to see him. He's acting normal. It was a good trip. I got to see all my friends and my family, and I was just really grateful for that time I got to spend with them. And I love my family so much. I got that last good weekend with my grandpa. I'm grateful that the timing worked out to where I was able to be here and do that. And I just happened to be in the right state at the right time, essentially. And I'm very grateful for that. What else? I've just been shown a lot of love this month from my friends, my family, Kenan. My coworkers have been just like so incredibly kind, because I'm still new at this job. I know that if I was at another job, like, it would be just such a nuisance to not know what's going on, how to do my job, plus have to miss so much of my job that I'm so behind that I have to ask additional questions and ask for additional help. It would just be like too overwhelming, quite honestly. And thank God that I had the business trip where I met everyone. We became friends enough that I'm like, I can talk to them as people, and it's not just me stressing about work. Whereas like at my last job, my coworkers were my coworkers, and that was it. I never met any of them in person. I talked to only one of them enough to know like personal details about her life, and that's it. So I'm very grateful to have the job I have right now. I'm still kicking. I don't know how the fuck I am, but I still am. And like I said, there were quite a few dark moments during the summer that I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore. But thankfully, it doesn't last forever. Your friends and family are here to talk to you and help you. I have a wonderful partner who has supported me through it all. I have my fabulous therapist. I have strong anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication. And yeah, also, I live in Colorado, so this is legal for me to say. Do not, under any circumstances, take an edible while you have an earache. It's not gonna end well for you. You're gonna think you're dying, and you have to go to the ER because your ear's gonna pop off. Probably around 1 to 3 a.m. So don't do it. Okay, let's get into the more structured part of this. Because I do have other fun, good things to talk about that aren't just like the ridiculousness of my life. So let's go on to the favorites. I love talking about a good favorite. I have my favorites on my phone. But let's start right here. I don't remember if I put this in another favorites video. I'm not inclined to go check. So if I have, it's just this good. So take it as you will. The Simply Modern tumbler. I got it in lavender, in the whatever the popular Stanley Cup size is. It's 40 ounces. She's huge. She's big. She's saving my life. During both my COVID go and the ear infection, this has saved my life. I'm just sucking at it like a baby. I'm just gulp, gulp, gulp. Fish out of water, I need it. And it works just as good as they say it does, and I got it on the cheap. They had like a used section, you know how Amazon has their like outlet where people just return things and so the packaging's all fucked up, but it's still like a fine product. I got this through there and it was $25, which is half the price of what the Stanley tumbler cup is everywhere else. Cannot recommend enough. Thank God for this. Video games. I have a fun little video game favorite, which is fun and cute. Pikmin. I think it's Pikmin 4. I've never played another Pikmin game. I've heard of them. I've never played them. But Kenan bought it for me because he was like, I think you're really gonna like this game. And I do. I love it. It's so cute. It's full of little guys. And I'm the mayor of Little Guy Town. Don't know if you've heard. They're just my favorite. So anything with a lot of little guys is a thing for me. And that is Little Guy Central. Books. This month I did read 6 books, which is one of my goals, so like slay, but like very barely. Finished the 6th one last night and today is the last day of August. I read 2 books at the beginning that were mid. They were good. They were okay. I read Funny You Should Ask, and then I read Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Survive the Night, it was okay. Funny You Should Ask was good, but it was just like familiar to me. I've read romantic comedy is super similar to that, and I read romantic comedy first. So like to me, I was like, I kind of know what's gonna happen here, but it was still cute, still good. I decided, for whatever it was in me, I guess I was just like, I was, as I said, really going through it, and I was really looking for some like good nostalgic, like feel good book that I knew it was gonna happen and I liked what was going to happen. So I tried to get the Warrior Cats books by Aaron Hunter, but they're out everywhere in my library district because all the little kids are on them, which like fine, I guess, but like I want to read one. Let me read them. So I couldn't get those, but I reread the ACOTAR series. I've read books 1 through 4. I still need to read A Court of Silver Flames, which is fun and fresh and cool actually, because as you can see, these are all the matching paperbacks. I originally had the hardback of Silver Flames because I bought it a year ago, and then I read it as the hardback, and then the paperback came out, so I was like, oh, I need that one to complete the collection. So she hasn't even been cracked open, that copy at least, so I'll be giving her some love. But I was just like really desperately in the need of some fantasy escapism, and A Court of Mist and Fury is still one of the best books I've read in the past few years, I'd say. Just really fantastic job of like creating their story and their world, and like, you know, it's just such a good book. It's just such a good book. And I know it's so mainstream, but like Riz and Feyre, I also say it's Riz. I know people say Reese, I say it's Riz. And also now that the TikTok word is Riz for like swag or whatever, I just think it fits better. So sorry, my hot take in the book talk world, it's Riz. Anyways, I just love the way their relationship grows, and I feel like it's very well explored and paced, and I just like their characters. I just dig it. I just think they're neat. But yeah, so it was nice to read those and like just like have a good little comfort series moment, especially because I have so many books and I was sort of getting burnt out of going like book to book to book to book, and just sort of zooming through them, like all the one-off books. Love a good one-off book, but I also am a series girl at heart. Like I will take a series over a one-off any day. Give me more of the expansion, more of the world, more of the characters. So to have a series to go back to and like refresh myself on, I feel like it worked. I was going to film my New York haul, which includes a ton of books, after this, but we're gonna see how my jaw's holding up. But it made me excited to get into some of the books I picked up there in September, so that'll be fun. Okay, fave songs. I was really in a music mood this month, which is great because I'm caught up on all my podcasts, so much so that my podcast favorites are literally just, I have Patreon. I've joined the Patreon for my favorite podcasts, which are Otherworld, Drinking the Kool-Aid, and the Haunted Objects podcast. And so I've just been catching up on their backlog there of like their special episodes. It's been great. It's exciting. I'm going to two live Haunted Objects shows, which is gonna be so sick. One, I'm going alone because they have like one at a library in Colorado. And then one, Kennan's taking me to as like an anniversary present because they're doing it at the Stanley Hotel, which is where all of them met. Like not Greg and Dana, but like Greg and Dana and then the rest of the crew that they've essentially been working with for the past few years, like all of their major stuff, like Hellier, they all met there at the Stanley. So it'll be a cool, fun little like place to meet them. Anyways, that's exciting for September. No, that's happening in October. Never mind, ignore me. But I've been on my song grind, which is great. Some oldies, some newbies. Newbies, Hot to Go, Chapel Roan, obsessed, love her, truly like would make her my wife. I'm seeing her live the last weekend of September here in Denver, and I'm so freaking excited about it. I've missed every live show that I have signed up for this year because of some event or another, either like the deaths or the sicknesses or the craziness. I swear to God, if I don't make it to these last few live events, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm seeing her at the end of September and I'm very excited. We Didn't Start the Fire by Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy did their own version of We Didn't Start the Fire, picking up where Billy Joel left off, which at first I was like, oh, that's just like gimmicky. But it's gotten stuck in my head. It's fun to hear the lyrics and be like, I do know about that. I was alive for that to happen. So, and I'm also a huge Fall Out Boy girly. I don't know. You definitely don't know unless you're one of my few friends from high school watching this, hey. But sophomore year of high school through senior year of high school was my big like pop punk, emo, almost emo type beat. Was big on Fall Out Boy, big on Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco is my favorite. Big on 21 Pilots. I saw them like 3 times. Yeah. Very Slay music era, not even gonna lie. I still bop it to 21 Pilots Migraine all the time. Anyways, Slay on Fall Out Boy, great job, Kings. Next, this is an oldie. Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac, the live version that has been going around TikTok. I heard it and I was like, that's enchanting. And then a lot of the TikToks that came up with it afterwards were like, this is the strongest spell that has ever been cast in music history. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I respect Stevie Nicks for it. Karma, because as I said, we've had a lot of family drama going on, but there are some retribution coming, and you know, karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. Taylor gets it. And then my last one is Wet Cement by Gus Dapperton, which is a song I'm pretty sure I picked up from my friend Agatha when I visited her, like on her playlist in the car. I don't know if she knows that. Thanks, Queen. But it's so good. It's like slow and vibey. It's definitely one of the slower songs I've been listening to this summer, but it's nice and chill and it's good. Things to look forward to in September. Like I said, I'm seeing Chapel. Mel and Jess are coming. We're gonna film that weekend if they're okay with it, but I hope they will be. And we're gonna do some fun Denver stuff. We're gonna have a fun little weekend together, and so that'll be great. We're gonna do that. I'm home for the whole month for the first time since March. Wow. I've traveled every single month since March. That's so long, man. That's so long. And I have to travel again the first week of October for work again. So I'm going to savor my 4 weeks straight home. I'm just gonna dig them. I'm excited for the fall. Fucking love the fall, my man. It's about to be Labor Day weekend, so Labor Day weekend is gonna be my fall decoration like time. I'm gonna make a video about it. It's gonna be a wonderful, cozy vlog, and we're gonna enjoy it. Because I love fall so much just because of, I don't know. It just makes me happy. It's so good and cute and fun. And everything's getting cooler outside, and fall fashion I prefer all around. I'm just excited. It'll be so good. And cozy and calm, not like crazy chaos like the past few months have been. We also need to start getting our act together because we're meant to move at the beginning of November. So probably some stuff with that. I think that's probably gonna be one of my goals. Speaking of, let's review our August goals, and let's jump into making some September ones as well. Okay, normally I'm pretty good about like shifting this so you can just see my little notebook, but I'm sick, so you'll forgive me. I'm not doing that. I don't want to switch up the filming setup and then come back to it. But here are my August goals, and I will read them out to you. As we can see, we got like half of them done. That's pretty good. Number 1, read 6 books. Did that. Book number 6 was A Court of Snow, Court of Frost, and Starlight. Close enough. Pay off 1 credit card. I did do that. I did end up putting more money on it afterwards, but I did pay it off initially, and I will be paying it off again at the next paycheck, so I'm gonna count it. Because the only reason I put more money on it was because it's the Old Navy credit card, and there was a huge Old Navy sale. And you will see in my New York haul that I took advantage of such things, as I must. Thank you. Visit 1 new place in Colorado. This one I gave myself a little squiggly on, which means kind of. Like I kind of did that. I did go down to Salida, which is down at the bottom of Colorado. It's like 3.5 hours for me. And that's where my grandpa was. We drove down there Friday night into Saturday, and we explored the town a little bit. I have been there before. I've been there twice, but I've been there when I was a little kid. The 2 times I went, I was literally 5. I think I was like 5 or 6. And then the second time I went, I was 12 or 13. So fully have not been there in a decade, like a very long time. So going back, I was like, oh, I remember some of this, but it was also super different, and I haven't been there since I lived here. So I kind of count that for the sense of like, I don't really remember the last few times I was there. I remember like bits and pieces, but not like an experience. So yeah, I'm gonna count that, kind of. Next, organize grad school stuff. I did this, and I'm very proud of myself for doing this because grad school, as I said, was a hot fucking mess as of the spring, and I was so frustrated and just like, I don't even have to be doing this. I'm not going to be pursuing a job in this area for a little bit. I have to stay with my specific company for a certain amount of time before I get my like 401k match, and I'm not going anywhere without that 401k match, honey. So completely different field, everything. And the grad school, I'm supposed to be able to finish up in like 2 years. So there was really no rush on this, except for the fact that I wanted to do it. And like, I missed it. I really enjoyed the classes I took last year. And last fall was also a shit show. But throughout it, I still enjoyed the classes I was in and like what I was learning and talking about because I'm passionate about it. So I realized, okay, if I'm still thinking about it and I loved it that much and I am able to do it, I want to be able to do it. So we figured out, we got the payment done for the hold on my account, which was still stupid and frustrating and horrible. But I'm super grateful my family helped me out with that because I did not have the money to go with it. I did not just have $2,500 to drop out of pocket for this. And it turned into like $2,800 thanks to late fees. Got that paid off. I reached out to my advisor. I reached out to the only professor I had last year. And she's gonna help me. I have a meeting with her on Monday and we're gonna figure everything out. I took away my leave of absence and hopefully I will be able to sign up for at least 2 classes this fall and things will be good. Next, create a morning routine. I didn't do that. I was sick and I was gone. Whoops. 2, have a low spend month. I couldn't do that. I just physically couldn't because once again, I was sick. So I had to order COVID tests. I had to fucking, I had to go to the urgent care. I had to pay for my medical expenses, which once again, stupid. Why do I have to pay if I'm sick? America, explain. Every other country has it covered, but whatever. Then I got home. I paid to go home. I paid for stuff while I was home. And of course I went shopping while I was home because shopping, retail therapy is deeply ingrained in me. As someone who grew up lower middle class, the opportunity to buy things has always sparked intense joy in my brain. And whether or not that sustains itself is none of my business, even though I'm making it my business. We're working on it in therapy. But I went through some retail therapy while I was home. Whoops, sorry, sue me. You'll see it in another video. But yeah, so a low spend month did not happen, but I'm not too mad at myself about it. I think being home will help me rein that in a lot more. Let's make some September goals. So I've already written them out, but once again, I'm not moving this camera. I will simply read them to you aloud, like a fun little bedtime story. Number 1, read 6 books. I did it this past month. I think I can do it again. And I feel like I'm out of like my reading slump. And I already know one of the books I'm going to read, which is the last one of ACOTAR. Number 2, read at least 1 nonfiction book as a part of those 6 books. I have so many that, well, I don't have so many. I have probably like 5 or 6 nonfiction books and I'm not reaching for them even though I think they're cool. I was really burnt out on nonfiction in college because I'm pretty sure I've mentioned, but I was a drama and a history major, and for the history major, I just had to read a ton of boring nonfiction first primary source books that I hated because they were all on World War I. I don't give a shit about World War I, quite honestly. So I picked up some cool ones though that I am interested in, and so I'm going to get myself back into it. I just have to get over the writing style pretty much. And then I also did, one of the things I picked up when I was at home, I'm very interested in like crystals and tarot cards and spirituality and stuff like that because I was raised Catholic, do not consider myself Catholic anymore. I do, however, believe in the universe and, you know, there is energy out there doing stuff. And I love tarot cards. First off, the decks are just gorgeous. They're always unique and pretty and wonderful. I've had 1 tarot reading and I enjoyed it. I felt it was pretty decently accurate. And I now have 3 decks myself. 1 is just like an art deck, like you don't touch it. 1 I've used a lot, and then the other one is brand new, which I will, once again, I'm plugging this video that isn't up yet, but I'll put it in the description whenever it is, my New York haul. I will show it there. But I'm very interested in getting to learn more about that and like understanding it off the top of my head rather than going through the little booklets that they have with the tarot decks and like looking it up every single time I'm doing something with it. So I did purchase like a tarot, like what each card means, the history behind each card for the Rider-Waite deck. I believe that's how you say it. But like essentially the original really famous tarot cards. Like if you see a drawing of a tarot card, it's probably based on that, if not that. But that I would consider a nonfiction book because it is, you know, just like, it's like teaching stuff. It's not a story. And I want to read that. So that'll probably, I'm going to try to make that my 1 NF book. Next, drink at least 1 full one of these guys a day, like a jug. which I'm pretty good about right now. I'm very good about it when I'm sick because I'll drink like 4 of them because my throat is hurting constantly. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I need more water. And I'm a water girl at heart, always have been. I don't drink soda. Water is always my go-to. But when I'm not sick, I'll get through maybe like half of one or a quarter of one. And I can get through at least one. Like, come on, let's go. So I'm challenging myself to drink at least one full one of these a day after the sickness calms down. Save $500. It's gonna be tough. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't have a whole financial thing for this video just because I'm talking so much and not much has changed, especially since last month was so unexpected with expenses. Everything's crazy. I'm still waiting on my loan to come through, hopefully, maybe. My end of the year bonus is what's gonna be my saving grace. I'm really hoping. I'm just praying. We're putting it out there. And yeah, that's what we got. The goal is just to save as much as possible and spend as little as possible because when we move, it's all gonna go to moving, like actual movers, because we need them. We used movers last time and it made such a difference because we were able to. We weren't going across the country and, you know, whatever. But it was so helpful. It made the experience so much better and I'm going to insist upon it. But with that, you know, there's also the down payment, like the security deposit for a place and pet rent and any like, you know, moving supplies and you get it. There's a lot that goes with moving and we need to start saving for it. So I'm saving as much as I can. 500 is hopefully like the base. Hopefully I can do a lot more. Next, I want to start with moving prep slash starting to look for apartments because October is already getting pretty busy and technically our lease is not up until November 12th. However, I have a feeling that we're going to have to sign a November 1st lease and then just have those 2 weeks of like overlap, which is fine. But because of that and October being busy and us both working full-time jobs, it's gonna be very hard to go see places, and especially because we want to go move south of Denver. So I'm all the way up north. Kenan works in the south of Denver, which is why we're headed to be down there because he works in person. So I'm hoping he'll be able to do some of the insight, like go see things in person stuff during the day if that is needed. But otherwise, we just like need to scout places we want to go and like see what's on the market, see what's available, figure out our budget, stuff like that. And I would love to make moving videos if you're interested in that. I'm definitely gonna make at least like a packing up and unpacking and like a final apartment tour type video just for my sake. But if you're interested, let me know. Next, I want to check something off of my Colorado bucket list. I very loosely made like a Google Doc with a Colorado bucket list because we're not gonna stay here forever. It's probably gonna be a couple more years. Not sure how long. I'm hoping that wherever we go next, it's the last place we're moving to in Colorado. And then we just renew that lease until we're done with it. That is the hope, that is the plan, that is the prayer. But we'll see. But with that, we will definitely not be here within the next 5 years, I would confidently say. So I want to compile a list of all the things I wanted to do in Colorado, so that way we could check them off as we go and like have an idea. And so it's not like as soon as I move, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I wanted to do that, you know? So I want to flesh that out a little more, organize it, and then try to do at least one thing on it this month while I'm home. I'll hopefully show that to you in a vlog once it's actually like created and good. My last September goal is to begin taking vitamins. I have Ollie hair vitamins that I should take just for the health of my bleached babes. But on top of that, I, as I've said, have gotten sick so much this year. Not even, oh, I've gotten COVID, I've gotten the ear infection. I also have had pretty rough colds, but like also some nasty, like the flu. I had the flu in the winter. And it's just that this shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening. I clearly am not all well on the inside. So overall, my focus for the rest of the year is to really try to take care of myself well, and put in the effort to move my body, not necessarily for like weight reasons, but for health reasons, because I noticed how tired I was getting walking around New York when I used to do that every day. I noticed how frequently I'm getting sick which is not good. So clearly I need more vitamins and a better diet overall just to support the increased intake of those vitamins. So I'm looking for a good multivitamin for you, girl. I am not going to be doing a ritual, a care of, or whatever, like a vitamin subscription service from YouTube, because that's too complicated. I don't like pills already, and I already have to take too many of them. So I will be looking for a nice little gummy vitamin from Target, and I will be taking it every day. Because I definitely need just at least more like vitamin C, vitamin D, you know, stuff that is your basic like health shield from the world. Because my immune system is so tired. She's exhausted. And fucking me too. Okay, that was so much talking. I've spoken for at least an hour. My jaw is very, very tired. But it felt good. It always feels good to talk, to just sit down and talk to you, my friends, and just like, it feels right. It feels like what I want to do, what I'm meant to be doing in this moment in order to not go insane. So I am glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to talk enough for at least this hour of the day to share with you all that's been going on. And yeah, we're ready to let the summer go. We're ready to say goodbye to August. Thank you, Miss Taylor Swift. August slipped away like a moment in time. It actually dragged. It dragged its lazy ass all the way across the fucking calendar. But I'm free. I'm just about free. I have to go to sleep tonight and then I'm free. And then, you know what? We're almost done with this year. 2023 was not the one for me, but the last 3 months of it hopefully will be significantly better than these past few ones. So yeah, once again, if this is the first time you're watching me, thank you, and I'm sorry. This is like so much personal info to be giving you. But if you stuck around to this point, appreciate you, love you. And I want to hear what your September goals are, whether it's 1 or 5 or 10. I want to hear them. And just say thanks. Thank you. I love you. I'm so happy you're here and that I'm here to talk to you, because God, this world is a shit show. And this summer has proven it. And I'm ready to say goodbye to the summer and do fun fall things. I'm ready for fall, God damn it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful whatever time of day you're in, and I will talk to you very soon.